Close enough.
Call the meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome you to a formal meeting of the Board of Commissioners. A video copy of the meeting is being made, and also a taped copy of the proceedings. So everything is a public document that we do today. The first thing on our agenda is awards, recognition, and correspondence. I would like to call upon former State Senator David Nelson. Please identify yourself.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is David Nelson, and I'm here today I live in Pendleton, 1407 Northwest Horn, Pendleton, and I'm here today to award a community award to Gail Nelson. With pleasure, the Pendleton Task Force honors Gail Nelson for her work and dedication to the Pendleton community, recognizing her many efforts to work towards enhancing our community. Gail has the ability to look to the future and work towards multiple goals to advance a collective vision. As Executive Director of the Children's Museum, working with the Pendleton's farmers markets in the early years, and especially as Executive Director of the Pendleton Chamber of Commerce these past 6 years, she has sought out and maintained strategic partnerships throughout the region. She worked tirelessly to improve Travel Pendleton. This work has brought Pendleton numerous events, several awards, and improved visibility throughout Oregon. She continues these efforts with her new position as Umatilla County Economic Development and Tourism Coordinator. Gail was involved in bringing the Governor's Conference to the Wild Horse Convention Center, served on the Pendleton School District Budget Committee and the BMCC Blue Ribbon Panel, as well as shepherding, assisting, and participating in many businesses and community events. She is also a member of the Pendleton Rotary Club. She was born and raised in Chester, Montana, attended Concordia and Seward, Nebraska, and graduated from the University of Montana with a Bachelor of Arts in Education. Teaching English and drama for 2 years at Athena Weston, she also coached girls basketball before becoming part of Pendleton's leadership. Gail and her husband Eric have 2 daughters, Josie and Sophie, who are active and engaged young women. Recognizing progress sometimes comes in small steps, and with the help of many, Gail takes time to thank others to be sure they know their efforts are appreciated, whether a public announcement of a sponsorship or donation to a project, or a handwritten note to a valued volunteer or coworker. Gail, please accept the Pendleton Honor Task Force. Thanks for your time and contributions.
Before we present the award, just to put this in perspective, if everybody's not familiar, the Honor Task Force is an anonymous group of 12, known maybe only to me and themselves, but they are awarding 12 awards this year. They honored Annie McAnally first, Dan Primus second, John Peterson, and now Gail.
And here's more. Here's a plaque. Wow.
Okay.
And you have some gifties too.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, thank you.
Look this way.
Oh, okay.
Get in there, George.
Yeah, George, is this your thing? I don't know who are these 12 mystery people?
Known only to me.
Okay.
There, maybe.
Where we're looking. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank
There
you.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There you go.
That'll look great on the wall.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Gail, that'll look great on the wall.
Yeah, thanks. I have something to hang on my wall now.
That's right.
Well, congratulations too, Gail. Thank you.
You are certainly welcome to stay through our scintillating agenda, or you don't have to, whatever you choose to do. I think it's exciting for the county that we have, that 2 of the 4 people who have been honored by the Honor Task Force are both part of the Umatilla County family. So congratulations, Gail. Minutes of previous meetings, April 17th, 2018.
Chair, I move approval of the minutes of April 17, 2018.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, okay. Any additions to the agenda? Council? No. No? All right. Anybody in the audience wish to say something other than that which is on an agenda item? All right. We'll start down through the agenda. A payable for vests.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is by our sheriff's office. It's time to replace the vests. Much as they're still pretty well unused, other than being worn, they do wear out, and they have a time dating on them, and it's time to replace them. And this is a request to approve a payable for $6,783 for vests. And I move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Number 2, purchase of a vehicle.
You got that?
That's Paul.
No, Paul.
Paul Chalmers, Director of Assessment Taxation for Umatilla County. We actually had a vehicle that was struck in the parking lot and moved significantly to the point where the insurance company totaled the car. We received reimbursement from that replacement, and then with some funds from the vehicle replacement married together, we'd like to go out and request a mid-size sedan not to exceed $20,000 to add to our fleet.
I move approval.
Second.
Second. Been moved and seconded that we authorize the purchase of the vehicle. Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Item number 3, part-time employment.
Good morning. Kim Weisenflew, Community Developmental Disabilities Program for Umatilla County. So I'm here to ask that one of our service coordinator positions be allowed to go part-time. She's made a request in writing to do this. This is her choosing due to family circumstances. So we are in support of that, and actually will allow us some time to determine what other needs with regards to personnel and assessments and that kind of things that are coming down from the state. So it's a win-win for her and the county.
So she's going on family leave.
No, she's just going to go part-time. She's going to work 24 hours a week.
But it's accommodating a situation. I appreciate the fact that you're doing that. Do we have a motion to approve this?
Approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Temporary position, is that you too?
That is, do I introduce myself again?
We still know who you are.
Okay, perfect. I'm here to ask for the ability to create a temporary position of an office assistant. The temporary position would be basically seasonal in an aspect. So what we've done is we've participated in the School to Careers program, and we've had internship opportunities at our department. And as we have determined priorities over this next 2 years, one of the things is for us to go paperless, which is a lot of busy work. So we have the funds that through carryover money to allow a position for an office assistant that could help with our paperless project. And so I'm proposing that we create this position initially with the idea that we would bring back school to careers participants during summer and spring break and Christmas break that are currently going to college for something related to social services or so hopefully they'll come back to our county and work for us.
I have no questions.
Question?
Move approval.
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Kim, if you'd stay there just a minute, I'll take a point of privilege. As some of you have seen, on the calendar's presentation is being made to a committee of 100 people who are really studying how to make county services more effective. One of the things that they were interested in is how we've managed to do what we've done with our juvenile office. I met with Kim, former director, and Digna, the current director, and they are putting together some information about what's happened here and the significant amount of money that this county has saved in terms of juvenile services, coupled with recidivism is down, right?
Right.
It's either up or down, but it's down is good. So I don't know if you've come up with a dollar figure yet, but it's pretty impressive, and I think you need to be recognized for it.
Thank you. It's in excess of $1 million, probably in the several $1 millions.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. We started this clear back when we lost a previous director who passed away. Was it 2010? 2010.
Yeah.
And we've continued down that path road. So kudos to you, Kim, for stepping in and doing this.
Yeah, and now they're housing DD in that facility. You can still kind of tell it may have been a two-tiered cell block, but they've really remodeled it, are reusing it for DD, but that's such a dramatic saving. But it would only be significant if at the same time, in the reduction of their staff, reduction of the incarceration rate, and taking a whole new approach, they've had such a dramatic impact. I mean, in a lot of counties and a lot of places, juvenile delinquency is in the paper. It's an issue. You hear a lot about it. You don't hear. So
Kim's got a good grip on it.
So there you
Digna
go.
now has the grip on it, so
Yeah, well, tell her we said nice things about her in absentia.
Okay, thank you.
All right, item number 5, road renaming.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Jacob Potter. I'm here from the Planning Department. Do I need to state my address? Thank you. This is a request from the Monahans to rename a road that's been previously platted, so it comes under your purview. There are no addresses currently on the road, and no one lives or uses the road except for the applicant. They're going to be building a home, and they wanted to rename the road. The fee has already been paid from the previous applicant who platted the road, but the sign was never created, and there is no addresses off the property or off the easement. So.
How long is the road?
I'm actually not sure off the top of my head, but it's not very long, maybe 200 feet at the most.
Looks like about a quarter of a mile.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not very long.
I'm surprised they didn't want to name it, since there are no addresses and they're the first ones there. They didn't want their own name on it. But.
We actually have a policy not to name after surnames now. We're trying to get away from family names.
Okay.
Well,
They didn't like a name like Nogata?
Nogata Road.
They didn't, no.
Mr. Chair, I would move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Item number 6, road dedication. Thank you, Jacob.
This is coming before the board for a formal declaration of a road right-of-way. The property is owned by the county. The county is in the process of selling it, and prior to that conveyance, went to make clear that the current road that crosses the property is a dedicated public road. There's been some question in the past. We can't really find any documentation of the location of the road, so this is the first step toward documenting South Shore Drive and its location.
Questions of Doug?
Doug, have there been any comments about that from any property owners along South Shore Drive?
About
this particular issue?
No. The adjoining property owner is the one that's acquiring the property.
Okay. All right.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 7, peer mentor position.
This is coming before the board from Human Services. They received a grant for a peer mentor position. The size of the grant is sizable enough to provide several items for this program, one of which is a new supervisory position. This is a limited duration position from June 1st to May 31 of 2019. Unless additional funding can be obtained from the source or from Medicaid billing, it will end in May of next year. And this is paid through from grant funding sources.
What does a peer mentor do in this case?
I don't know. I'll ask HR.
Do you want me to come over?
No, that's fine.
The peer mentors help support folks that are at alcohol and drug treatment, helping them get to meetings, kind of another step in the counseling process. So they spend a lot of time one-on-one with folks in the treatment programs.
It's similar to like a care position.
Right.
It's totally grant funded.
Right.
Mr. Chair, move approval.
Second.
Moving second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Painting payable. This is really an exciting agenda.
Do we have to watch it dry?
It's like watching paint dry.
This payable is coming before the board because of the dollar amount. The Public Works Department has been in the process of painting its buildings. They have now taken care of 2 additional buildings for the amount of $9,500, and it's before the board for approval.
I would move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right.
Here we go.
Item number 9.
Mr. Chair, this is the result of the meeting of the HELP Committee, the Helix Enhancement Launch Program. The committee met and had approximately $64,000 available and split it as they want to do with the school and the city. The school asking for $10,000 for a retaining wall along the street by their running track, $5,000 for a hallway paint and repair, $7,000 for an athletic field irrigation system so the grass can stay green, and $10,000 for an intercom system. The city's asking for $20,172 to improve a water tank system that will blend and stir the water to keep it at a uniform temperature, and $11,828 concrete pad at their storage facility and improving a part of it and making the final payment on that building. Total amounting to $32,000 for the city, $32,000 for the school, and I would move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
That was exciting, wasn't it?
Well, he certainly made a good case for the irrigation system.
Man.
They had there are pictures along with that show what it looked like before. It will be better with irrigation. Next item, Mr. Chair, is the appointment of the HELP Board. The terms have expired, and this would seek the reappointment of Jack Bascom from Helix, Derek Cope, the school superintendent there, myself, Michael Udman, and Jerry Turgison. Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Item 11, Mosquito Control District Board appointments.
The board has received a letter from the West Umatilla County Mosquito Control District. There were 2 terms of the Board of Trustees that expired at the end of April, and the request is to reappoint Bill Kaplinger and Glenn Chowning to the board.
I would move approval.
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Robert, supplemental budgets.
And this will be a public hearing.
Oh, excuse me. We will thank you, Doug. We'll step out of our regular meeting and go into hearing mode.
Good morning, Commissioners. Robert Paul, CFO, Umatilla County. There are a number of supplemental budgets this morning. I'll give you a rundown of them. These notices of these supplemental budgets appeared in the April 24th issue of the East Oregonian. They are as follows. Budget Order 2018-46 for the Parks Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in local revenue of $2,000, an increase in state revenue of $41,000, an increase in personnel services of $30,000, an increase in materials and services of $5,000, and an increase in capital outlay of $8,000. Budget Order 2018-47 Wind Farm Distribution Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in transfers out of $46,000 and a decrease in contingency of $46,000. Budget Order 2018-48 EOTech Reserve. The EOTech Reserve Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in transfers in of $700,000 and an increase in materials and services of $700,000. Budget Order 2018-49 Human Services, the Developmental Disabilities Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase of state revenues of $283,128, an increase in materials and services of $113,586, and an increase in contingency of $169,542. Budget Order 2018-50 General Fund Veteran Services. The Veteran Services Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in transfers out of $23,000 and a decrease in personnel services of $23,000. Budget Order 2018-51 Veterans Expanded Services requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in transfers in of $23,000, an increase in capital outlay of $24,400, and a decrease in personnel services of $1,400. Budget Order 2018-52 Fleet Management requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in local revenue of $29,000 and an increase in capital outlay of $29,000. Budget Order 2018-53 Capital Purchases Management requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in local revenue of $29,000, an increase in transfers in of $46,000, and an increase in capital outlay of $95,000, and a decrease in materials and services of $20,000. Budget Order 2018-54 PERS Reserve. The PERS Reserve Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in transfers out of $700,000 and a decrease in contingency of $700,000. Budget Order 2018-55 Nuisance Abatement. The Nuisance Abatement Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $30,000 and a decrease in contingency of $30,000. And Budget Order 2018-56 General Fund Sam Cook Building requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $8,000 and a decrease in contingency of $8,000. And Budget Order 2018-57 General Fund Civil Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in local revenues of $45,000 and an increase in materials and services of $45,000. Any questions?
On our PERS reserve, is that coming out of our Hilton Holders?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's temporary.
Right.
It'll be a loan to EOTech Reserve, which will be repaid.
Okay.
And the sources of the repayment is, I believe, the Lamb Weston proceeds. Any, Commissioner Elfring, any questions?
No
of Robert?
questions, no. I
Anyone in
followed
the
that
audience?
through.
We're in hearing mode. Anybody in the audience wish to give questions? Okay. In that case, we'll adjourn the hearing and go into deliberation. Any deliberation?
I think that would have occurred during the hearing, really, but there could be other, but I have none.
Okay.
I don't have any either. The only one I had was the PERS.
Me as well.
That was answered.
All right.
Mr. Chair, in the matter of Budget Order 2018-46, I move approval.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 You have all those orders, I think.
I do. In the matter of Budget Order 2018-47, wind farm distribution, I move approval.
Second.
Favor, say aye.
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 In the matter of Budget Order 2018-48, EOTech Reserve, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 In the matter of Budget Order 2018-49, Human Services Developmental Disabilities, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And in the matter of Budget Order 2018-50, General Funds Veteran Services, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 In the matter of Budget Order 2018-51, Veterans Expanded Services, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 In the matter of Budget Order 2018-52, Fleet Management, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 In the matter of Budget Order 2018-53, Capital Purchases Management, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 In the matter of Budget Order 2018-54, PERS Reserve, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 In the matter of Budget Order 2018-55, Nuisance Abatement, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 In the matter of Budget Order 2018-56, General Fund, Sam Cook Building, Hermiston, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. In the matter of Budget Order 2018-57, General Fund, Civil, I move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Do we have any more?
That's it.
Oh, all right. Is there any more business? All right.
I have none.
Commissioner reports?
I will be going over to the Mountain True Art Chamber at noon today, and then going on into Walla Walla for the county's part in the Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting.
I thought we had several good meetings yesterday with the county mayors and city managers. I thought it was a very productive meeting, a good communication. I really wish we would have had more participation. Some were not able to be there, and they have their reasons why they weren't. But I thought it was a good going around the table and good rundown on the county and its economic development from our standpoint to hear what they had to say. I, earlier than that, attended a meeting of the Columbia Development Authority, and the primary thrust of that was done in executive session and had to do with negotiations on the real estate. It's getting down to the point where I can't identify a whole lot more things that really need to be done there. They just need to be buttoned up on about 3 things. And we're told at that point that it'll transfer, unless something else comes up that they need to belabor. But it's moving, and that's good. Last evening, I attended a meeting of the BRAC representative on the cleanup of certain areas out there. Final meeting to close the DEQ permit, and the areas have all been mitigated or identified as far as what needed to be done. Most of the entire area has been totally cleaned. There are some areas that are going to continue to be monitored, where some things were done, like washing out ammunition casings and things of that nature. There's still some residues around from that, and that mostly is all on the National Guard area of the area. So of the base there. So it's getting there. That I'm anxious, as is everybody. Everybody's getting a little bit testy when there are delays, because it's down to the point where we just don't think there ought to be any. So, good meeting, though.
I did have a meeting with Byron Smith, Tom Fellows, myself, and Mark Morgan, and we'll be bringing more information as Byron and Tom work on logistics of the Airport Road and Ott Road and the new development on Theater Lane. So that will be coming forward in the next month.
I did have a constituent question come up on that I understand they've since talked to this individual, and he seems to be satisfied. A landowner there
On which road?
on North Ott.
Oh, okay.
Anything else? I've had a multitude of meetings, but they're mostly housekeeping and not